Greetings, cretins and degenerates of the internet. Welcome to Swoopchat, a small YouTube channel where we talk about dumb stuff. So, without further ado, sit back, relax, listen to that lo-fi chill beats as we get straight into today's topic. Hello everybody, welcome back to Swoopchat. First episode of the new year. Let's ring it in, guys. I hope you had a lovely Christmas, a lovely new year, because I certainly didn't. Jesus Christ, I was plagued with like this really bad cold for like 3 weeks, infected with pestilence, and it was bad. I for the first week it was like a normal cold. Second week I was like, I couldn't even leave my bed, it was that bad. And then the third week, I just ended up throwing up everything I ate. So I hope you guys had a lovely Christmas. Now, I thought I would take this opportunity to talk about some people I live with. Just people I live with, and sort of the things that they do, and sort of the situations I've got myself into with these people. So it's going to be a wild ride, guys. But that's okay, because sit back, relax, listen to those killer beats, and hold on tight, because here is another story time based episode, guys. So to begin with, I'm going to talk about the guy who's been on my mind all fucking day. The guy who is, like, on my mind right now as we speak. So yeah, let's talk about the guy that's on my mind. Let's call him Andy. Hello, Andy. Hope you're not listening. Andy. So, to begin, a bit of context. Not this morning, but let's say yesterday morning, on the 5th of January, I slept. Yes, I do sleep. Like most normal human beings. But I have terrible sleep. I sleep during the day, and I'm awake during the night. Like, as we speak right now, it's 4 o'clock in the morning as recording this video. So yeah, my sleeping is screwed. But so is Andy's. So he's up during the night as well. And I go to sleep. I go to sleep maybe around about like 4 in the morning. But I actually go to sleep, properly. Maybe around about 7. So, saying this, it establishes that it takes me a fair while to get to sleep, to actually doze off and dance in the dreamland of dreams, So being Andy, he decides to wake me up. Maybe 3 hours after I go to sleep. And what does he ask for? He asks if I'm going out shopping. And that pissed me off, because it's like, no, I went to sleep maybe 3 hours ago. You know this. So I'm just like, maybe it's just a misconception. Maybe he's actually fixed his circadian rhythm, and he's actually sleeping in a normal sleeping pattern now. Alright, my bad for sleeping at a bad time. But that can't be the case, because, last night I kept hearing him making these sounds at like 4 in the morning. So that must not be the case, unless he woke up a bit later on during the night or whatever, but either way. So, Andy is the kind of person who doesn't really respect my sleep. Or me in general, really. I think he does, but like not in the way that I would hope, like an actual person friend would. Andy's the kind of person who asks for a lot, and he gets a lot of money. So it's like he doesn't really need to ask for a lot, or anything really, to be real. But he likes to ask anyway. For food, for cigarettes, for money, for drinks, you name it, he's probably asked for it. Apart from that, in which case you're disgusting, get out of it. I remember this one time, I was sleeping at a normal sleeping pattern, so imagine like 9 o'clock to 7 in the morning, a very healthy sleeping pattern, a very healthy amount of sleep, and a good hour to be up at, especially if you want to, I don't know, go to the gym, or go for a nice walk, But, Andy, he decides to wake me up. At what time? At 3 in the morning. At 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm you know, you're probably wondering to yourself, oh, maybe it's because Andy, like, you know, killed his foot. You know, maybe he's got a broken ankle, or is like bleeding profusely and is gonna die in like the next 5 seconds if you don't call an ambulance. I thought the same thing when he woke me up too. But then I opened the door with my exhausted, like, just barely open eyes. And you know what he said to me? He said, "Hey, is it alright if I have a cigarette? Because I have a headache, and apparently cigarettes can help with a headache." I gave him one, and I was pissed at the fact that he would wake me up for something so small as a tube of, like, tobacco. And it's not just the cigarettes he asks for, it's also money and food, as I mentioned before. You know, I remember he keeps asking me for money, and again, he gets plenty of money, the same amount I do, and, you know, he spends it all in, like, 2 days. That's, like, a lot of money gone in 2 days. And I mean a lot of money gone in 2 days. You know. But he's still asking for more. He's still asking for stuff. Whether it be food, money, or just mainly money to buy shit with. You know. Shit. That's the main thing. It's all shit. I remember this one time. It was about this time last year, actually. That we had in the UK, we had this whole Beast from the East thing. It was like this extreme, like, winter surge where it was freezing and it was like snowing non-stop for like a week straight. It was horrible, and it was more horrible if it was me during that time, because Andy, you know, I was like up at a normal time. And, you know, everything was fine. I had my week shopping, so I didn't have to go anywhere, you know. But Andy, on the other hand, he had, wouldn't you believe it, no money, no food, no cigarettes. And, of course, he had headaches as well. So, he asked me to go to the supermarket, just down the road, it's not very far. On a normal day, it's like maybe a 10 to 15 minute walk. He goes to me, and he says, "Could you pop to the shop and buy me cigarettes, buy me painkillers, and that's it. Just cigarettes and painkillers." I'm like, alright, that's fine. That's fine. That's not much, you know. And he says he can pay me back because he gets paid next week, so that's fine with me. So, that's fine. But the fact, this whole Beast from the East thing, again, nay, I remind you, winter storm, snow pelting from the sky, minus, like, freezing cold temperatures, below freezing cold temperatures, and I'm like, alright, I'll go to the shop, because I'm a nice guy, please, respect me, I'm a nice guy, you know, because I'm a good friend, and I don't want to see him suffer. So, I prepare myself. I wear like 2 pairs of socks, I wear my boxers, I wear my pajama bottoms, which I'm wearing now, and my jeans. I, like, pack up, like, layer after layer after layer of clothes, and I march out into the snow. And, oh my fucking god, was it relentless, guys. What would have been a normal, like, 10 to 15 minute walk became 40 minutes. I am not exaggerating, it was 40 minutes because of how thick the snow was. It was like how big are we talking? Like, maybe like 3 to 4 inches of snow, maybe 5, 6, but it was a lot of snow. But of course, before I left to get his, you know, little fun stuff, cigarettes and drinks, it was like, oh yeah, could you also get me drinks, food, and all this sort of stuff? I'm like, you're really pushing it, you know, like, mate, all that stuff is like maybe worth £15. But of course he has to really hook me in. He was like, oh, that's okay, if that's £15 of stuff, I'll give you £30 of stuff. And I'm like, alright, I'm getting double, so I might as well do it, you know. So I go to the shop, Morrison's, and like, oh my god, the trek. I come back after waiting an hour for a taxi. I actually managed to get a taxi. It took a while, but I got a taxi. Like, those taxi drivers are soldiers, let me tell you. Going out of their way in a blizzard like in like thick ass snow, you know, thick snow, to get that money. Like, that's incredible. Like, massive props to the taxi drivers. So I get home, and I give him his shit, and I go to sleep. And now, looking back on it, I realize how stupid of a decision that was. Because he's someone who would never do that for me. He would never go out in a blizzard for me. He would never, you know, go out of his way to do that for me. You know, I was only able to because I was actually capable of doing it, and I didn't have a bloody headache. Eventually he did pay me back and everything was fine. But then a week later he asked me for £25 because he wanted some food, and he, you know, it's like a vicious cycle. It happens every single fucking week. You know, 1 week, like, Jesus Christ, to get a week where he doesn't ask you for shit. You have to, like, align your chakras. You have to pray to the fucking moons. You have to make a blood sacrifice to the elder gods, just for a chance of a week of peace. So that covers Andy. That's 1 out of 4. So without further ado, let's move on to the second person who I have to live with.